Hello and welcome to the Diana Falzone show here on Paltalk. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful Halloween. I know I'm still feeling the effects, lots of pixie sticks last night. I was going crazy. How about you, Dorothy? How was your Halloween?
My Halloween was great. I had some trick-or-treaters last night.
You did?
Which was really nice because this is my first year living in a doorman building in New York City. And so it's a very large building, and they ask everybody to put a pumpkin on their door if they want to invite trick-or-treaters in. I don't have any kids of my own, but I was happy to make the Halloween special for the kids in the building.
Yeah, no, that's really sweet.
Yeah,
I carved pumpkins last night. I was very impressed. My boyfriend did a werewolf. I was like, who knew that you were like an expert pumpkin carver? I know. We had lots of little kids over, and then I went to a party with some friends last night, and that took a lot of energy out of me. But all of you know Dorothy. She is now a Paltalk regular. Her shows are on Thursdays at 2 p.m.
2:30.
Oh, 2:30 p.m. And she is from In Touch Weekly. She will bring you all the celebrity gossip, fashion tips, and more. So guys, make sure that you always check out Dorothy. Let's just jump into this because yesterday it felt like there was a pseudo-apocalypse in the world of media.
Yes.
With Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries' announcement of a divorce after only 72 days of marriage. What happened, Dorothy?
Oh, where do I even begin? I have been following this since the minute these two got together. I followed it all through the wedding, all through the premiere of the wedding, and now through the divorce. And it hasn't been a very long time that I've been working on this story because they've only been together since the beginning of the year. But there are a lot of complexities to this story. And we actually have a new issue of In Touch coming out tomorrow. And in that issue, we can reveal that not only has Kris been catching Kim texting her ex, Reggie Bush, but there was a secret lunch that Kim had with Reggie Bush on October 29th, just a few days ago, here in New York at Bar Masa. It was a sushi lunch. And so if it comes to light that Kim was perhaps doing something shady behind Kris's back, that ironclad prenup may not be so ironclad after all.
Really?
Well, the thing is, with a lot of high-profile celebrity marriages and prenups, there's oftentimes a clause that states that if one of the spouses cheats, that, you know, that kind of creates a hole in the prenup. And Kim and her family are worth an estimated $500 million.
What?
$500 million. And
that to me is absurd.
Yes, I know.
How?
It's like I'm just throwing words out. I don't even know what that means, 500 million.
I'm dumbfounded.
That would be like this entire studio just wall to wall with dollar bills.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, if it turns out that Kim's been, you know, doing something and being unfaithful, then that 500 million is very much up for grabs.
But wasn't there allegations that Kris Humphries was in himself being unfaithful, and there was lap dances and girls were twittering about being on Kris Humphries' lap? So what do you make of that?
Yes, well, you know, I don't really think that Kris Humphries has a leg to stand on with his allegations of Kim doing something behind his back, because while Kim was off in Dubai and doing all of these work trips, Kris was in New York City. He was clubbing, he was out at night. Nothing wrong with a guy going out and having a little bit of fun. Okay, I'm all right with that. But he was out consecutive nights until the wee hours of the morning, showing up from club to club with these beautiful blonde girls. I mean, I'm all right with blondes, but, you know.
Not when someone's married.
It's not the way that you act when you're in a high-profile marriage, when you just had this crazy expensive elaborate wedding. You kind of want to keep a low profile, and that was not what he was doing. So it was almost kind of like a big forget you to Kim, you know, because it was a clear message that he was sending.
Right.
So the two of them have been really disconnected since this wedding.
Do you think it has anything to do with the marriage being a money-making entity, and maybe it wasn't about love at all? Do you think they actually went into it with the intentions of forever? I mean, it doesn't seem to add up.
Yeah, I think that they went into it with the intentions of wanting to have a partner, wanting to have a companion in life, and there was something that they saw in each other. How could there not be an attraction? Kim is a beautiful woman. Kris is a hot athlete, you know, tall, muscular. There was obviously an attraction there. And really, at the end of the day, they are two very, very nice people. And so they did come together. They might have had good intentions at first, but as they got deeper and deeper into the whole engagement and the wedding planning, sources tell us that that Kim kind of fell in love more with the fame and the fortune that went along with it than she actually fell in love with the man that she was marrying.
Well, some of the rumors that I heard possibly was that he didn't want to be on the show. He thought that the show would do in their marriage and said, I don't want to be a part of this. And Kim was like, hey, this is my moneymaker. And if you don't want to be a part of this, then you can't be a part of my life. Do you feel like maybe this outing with Reggie was a way to see if they could get back together after she divorced? Because it seems odd to me that a woman who was so in love with love and so in love with the wedding and being married would so quickly pull the trigger to be alone. Because Kim Kardashian does not like to be alone, as we've seen in her past relationships. She's a serial monogamist. She goes from one relationship to the next.
She does.
So I would like to see this kind of, you know.
Well, I have to say, I'm very curious to see how this all develops. The fact that she's been reaching out to Reggie Bush, come on, as women, if you're in a relationship and you're reaching out to an ex, that only means one thing. It means you're not happy in that relationship and you're trying to have something kind of on the back burner as a go-to once the relationship goes south. Another interesting thing that I saw a few weeks back, Kim had tweeted that she couldn't get that one Adele song out of her head. She kept playing it. She kept playing it on repeat. And the Adele song, I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Someone Like You.
Someone Like You. That song is about the one that got away. It's about an ex. It evokes all sorts of nostalgia and sentimentality about an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend.
Well, didn't some people say, too, that Kim Kardashian left, got dumped by Reggie Bush, or that he didn't want to propose, so she was like, forget this. And it was her way of getting back at him by having this lavish wedding, by showing it off and kind of saying, like, look what you're missing. And then obviously that didn't make up for missing him necessarily.
Right, exactly. There are a lot of twists and turns when it comes to the world of the Kardashians, especially Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
And this is certainly an example of that, because it's hard to imagine as a woman close to the same age as Kim, it's hard to imagine going through all of that and standing up there and with the pastor and with all of those guests and just how elaborate it was, and then 72 days later saying nope, no thank you.
Do you think the family is going to be embarrassed? Is this going to hurt the Kardashian brand?
Everyone's been asking if this is going to hurt the Kardashian brand. And some people are speculating that people in general are going to have a really bitter taste in their mouth about Kim. They're going to be turned off, from watching the show and that sort of thing. I don't know. When we see a brand that's this powerful and that commands this much media attention, and a brand that companies just throw money at for endorsements and for appearances, I can't really see that going away like that. And let's not forget, people also compare this to Paris Hilton. Well, what happened to Paris Hilton? She had this big brand and then she fell off the face of the earth. But let's not forget here, Kim is not a single entity.
Right.
Kim has to do with the brand has to do with her two sisters, the interaction of the sisters. Now you have little Mason, Kourtney's baby, that's involved in the brand. You even have Kylie and Kendall Jenner that are now part of the brand.
And Kris Jenner also does endorsements.
And Kris Jenner and Bruce Jenner. So there's a lot of people here. And for viewers to be totally turned off by the Kardashians just because of what has happened with Kim, I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it just changed the Kardashian show, which was a family show, into almost like a dynasty soap opera from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't add up, and I'm surprised that there hasn't been, there was an official statement released by Kim Kardashian that was like, sometimes, things don't work out. I thought it was very kind of done over it, where Kris Humphries had an announcement and said, I'll do whatever it takes to have my wife back. Like, I don't understand. I was blindsided.
Yeah.
Do you think that Kris Humphries also is kind of playing into it, that he actually doesn't care about the marriage but doesn't want to be seen as the guy dumped by Kim Kardashian?
Well, it's very strange when I read his statement that he said, I was devastated to learn that my wife was filing for divorce. Those are some pretty careful words to choose. And so it could be that he's trying to evoke sympathy from people.
How about legally too? Maybe trying to say like, I didn't know, and I would have. Exactly. He said he would do counseling, which makes me think maybe he wants something.
He wants to put it all on her.
Yeah.
And she's been very clear that she doesn't want to pay spousal support. And so I think that he may have a very strategic kind of a move here in the statement that he released. And, you know, he's learned a thing or two about image and about how you have to portray yourself in public from his wife, soon-to-be ex-wife. And so perhaps the lessons that she taught him are now going to come back to bite her.
Well, I heard that she also was a little annoyed that he hired a Hollywood publicist only a few days ago, whereas she said, you know, he's not in Hollywood, he's a sports player. Well, athletes, actresses, models, musicians, they're all part of the media brand. So
right.
It's kind of odd of her to say something like that.
It's absolutely odd. And the fact that he has been involved in her, you know, in all of her promotions and all of her appearances and things like that, the fact that he's been a part of it, he does need somebody to kind of keep his image on track if he's all of a sudden just thrust into the limelight. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think that that's a horrible thing that he did. I don't think that makes him a fame seeker or anything like that. I think that Kim Kardashian really needs to take a step back and really figure out what kind of guy she needs. Forget about the kind of guy that she wants, but what kind of guy she needs. It's like she wants somebody that's going to take the back seat to her and just let her do her own thing and live her own life according to the Kardashian brand, you know, rules. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, she doesn't want somebody that's going to, you know, buckle under the pressure of all the celebrity, you know, paparazzi and the media attention. And I'm not sure, like, she wants him to be, she likes that he's down to earth. She likes that at first. Yeah. But then she doesn't want anything having to do with Minnesota. She doesn't want to move there. That's where he's from. That's where he lives, where his house is. When she was out in Minnesota at his house, all she did was criticize it. And so I think that she's very much contradicting herself in many of the things that she wants or doesn't want from a guy.
I think also the sweet, kind, down-to-earth image that she might try to portray didn't come across that way. I think that she does want a rich man, a man that is famous, a man that will, you know, kind of make her even a bigger mogul.
Exactly.
And I think we're going to see her with some maybe even more high-profile people. I think if Reggie comes back, he might be on and off, on and off. But in order to save her image, my recommendation would be to really cool it. Don't be seen with a new guy. Don't be seen, you know, in a new relationship. Because honestly, it's a slap in the face to the institution of marriage. And I know people say, like, Kim Kardashian is not supposed to be a role model, but as soon as you were on a public forum, even talking here, you have an influence. Maybe not to people watching right now, but maybe to someone who's young. And I think that these reality shows have kind of twisted things in such a tremendous way that it would be nice if she would take some responsibility.
I agree with that. I think, you know, people keep asking this question, what's going to happen to her brand? Is this really going to hurt her? And I said my piece about how I don't think that it is, but I will say that whatever she does going forward is really going to determine how people perceive her and how people really understand what happened here and how people welcome her or reject her. Because if she goes forward and she's running around with every guy in the NFL, you know, or every guy in Hollywood, that's not going to work for her because people are not going to take her seriously. But I am sure that there are a lot of women out there that can relate on a certain level to her for the fact that she maybe had all these high hopes of getting married and all these high hopes of where this relationship with Kris was going to take her. And as time kind of went on, she realized that they weren't as compatible as she thought that they were. And unfortunately, the wheels were already in motion before she came to that realization. So people could possibly sympathize with her.
Right. I can see it going both ways. You saw that actually at the rehearsal, the wedding rehearsal, where he was being very immature. And I honestly have to say that Kris Humphries is 26 years old. I don't think he has a lot of experience in the world of women, especially dating someone as high profile as Kim Kardashian.
Oh, no.
He just did not handle things well.
No.
You know, and I think if he was maybe a little older, he might have had the experience and the wisdom to kind of go through things with her in a better way and maybe be a little bit more compromising. But unfortunately, that isn't what happened. We have our text question from Mike in South Beach, Florida. Claims he knows that Kris Humphries and that Humphries is under pressure because of the NBA lockout and Kim was not understanding. Well, I can understand that.
Yeah, actually, Mike, our sources at In Touch Weekly confirmed that same thing. That Kim fell in love with an NBA player and the whole idea of the fact that he was this hot athlete and she used to make herself very prominent part of his games, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm not going to say he's unemployed, but for all intents and purposes, that's kind of what's going on. So because of the NBA lockout, he's not working.
But nor is any NBA
But nor is anyone else. But she wasn't okay with that, and so it just goes back to that original theory that she kind of fell in love with the idea of him and the fantasy of him. And then once she got to know him, and this is not saying that he's a bad person, but once she got to know him, that compatibility just wasn't there. Well, it was not there to sustain the relationship.
And I think that was smart, because it's something Dorothy and I spoke about before, that you said, like, best of intentions, but they were not compatible. And I think he really wanted that girl who was simple and plain and go with the flow and would sit on the porch with him. Kim Kardashian's like, what do you mean, no private jet? And her entire world also, in all fairness to Kim Kardashian, is glamorous. I mean, we saw that on their wedding when they had the bachelorette party. Scott Disick, Kourtney Kardashian's partner, he's like, oh, you're making us fly a commercial.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us today and getting the entire insider scoop from Dorothy from In Touch Weekly, and also now Paltalk, about the Kris Humphries and Kim Kardashian divorce. You guys can check out Dorothy this Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Who are you bringing on? Do you have a guest?
Yes, I do actually. I'm bringing the founder of BottleNotes.com, which is all about wine. So we're going to be learning a little bit about wine on the show, which is exciting.
You're like a sommelier.
Exactly. And also about, there's obviously going to be a lot of great gossip from our new issue. Yes. I'll talk more about the developments in this whole Kardashian divorce, and we'll also learn about, you know,